Well, I'm out in Clanridian today. I thought I'd come to the church and I forgot that everything's shut now. So the church shut. I'm wanting to have a look inside of the parish. So I'm just sitting in the grounds at the minute, resting. I think I found the well. So I'll have to come down here on a hotter day. Well, anyway, this video's about the veterans, okay? Because do you know what's been really bugging me the last few days was that Pembrokeshire's got all the refugees at the minute, haven't they, in the army base camps? So the old army base camps, and there was that guy, one of the refugees, within a week of arriving started whinging about, the food and the bedding and overcrowded conditions. And that really pissed me right fucking off, right? Because I ain't got no problem with refugees. But, this guy seemed to be a spokesman. And I was just wondering to myself that if I was to have a day with him, right, how much information I'd found out. It's probably he's a fake refugee anyway and has passed many countries of safety before he even got here. And my point is that, he should be goddamn grateful he's even got a home in the middle of fucking winter when there are a lot of veterans on the streets, okay? And I bet the veterans wouldn't mind living in those conditions as long as they were warm and fed and taken care of. So, he needs to wind his neck right in, doesn't he, really, and shut the fuck up and be grateful he's even fucking here having an assessment and not left on some boat in the middle of the English Channel, right? So that made me think about what more could be done for veterans, really, because it's fucking freezing. I'd hate to be homeless right now in this, right? It's like I'm freezing and people are expected to sleep out in this, not just the veterans, any homeless people now. It's just I want to focus on them. At the end of the day, a lot of the soldiers have probably come back with some form of anxiety or mental illness because of their time in combat. Why aren't they being looked after properly? Why aren't they having a bit of priority around here? It's like, at the end of the day, winter's approaching, right? We should be getting most people off the streets, or all people off the streets, actually. And I don't know why we're not kind of looking at the caravan park kind of idea where, we set up caravan parks, like caravan communities, and those can be the stepping stones for like a long-term thing where they can get into housing, but it's like a cheaper temporary measure for now, and it gets them off the fucking streets. How is anyone's mental health meant to improve when they're goddamn freezing, goddamn hungry, right, and they've got no security? People with mental health, they recover better when they've got security. I don't think the government actually reads their own material on recovery models and things like this, and hope and safety and Maslow's triangle. They like to dish these things out to workers, don't they? Right? But I don't think a lot of them actually read the research themselves, And my thing is, when you've got a veteran suffering from depression, anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, is the streets really the best place for him or her? I don't think so. The streets is not the best place for anyone, is it? And sitting out and trying to fend for yourself, against exploitation and God knows what else goes on the streets, is absolutely ridiculous. That the government has had years to sort this shit out and they just haven't even bothered. It's been on the low side of the priority list because they're building, but they don't seem to be building social housing, do they? All the barracks that were pulled down in London in Mill Hill, they were turned into luxury flats with only a few of them going to social housing. So where did all the people go? Rentals, things like that. They were dispersed outside of London, but nothing was done for those actually in London. So when the government says build, they're not building for the common man. They're building for the rich elites. And that's what people need to start being aware of. It's all about the elites. Capitalism, is all about the general public's fodder. We're just cannon fodder, to make them rich. So think about that, especially before you take the vaccine too.